Throughout our whole childhood, we have been looked down upon. No one ever believed we could achieve this.
I remember in year 6, they gave me an award for Chatterbox. So that means I used to just talk a lot. And it's funny because I say it to my mom now, we're literally getting paid to talk. Just on TikTok alone, that got us 64,000 new followers. I always thought it was like 20, 30.
Boring businesses make the most money. I just want to show you that anything is possible.
What should people know about your childhood and background to understand where you are today?
Great
Question. It's out there, but not a lot of people know, is that throughout our whole childhood, we have been looked down upon.
Yeah.
So no one ever believed we could achieve this, to be honest. Not many people expected a lot from us. So that's why sometimes when we meet people, it's like, I always knew you were going to be great, or you guys are a thing. It's like, you don't know me when I was in primary. No, when I was in primary, secondary, and we were struggling. So the fact that people get to see what we do now, honestly, it's amazing, really.
Yeah, I think it's the most interesting was when we went back to our school, and then they said we always knew they were going to be successful. And I'd look at James, I was like, no, they didn't, because even I didn't know. Yeah. So it's like, if I didn't know, then how could you know?
Yeah,
and especially, it's not like they saw something in us. Like, it's crazy. And I always used to say, I remember in year 6, they gave me an award for Chatterbox. So that means I used to just talk a lot. And it's funny because I say it to my mom now, we're literally getting paid to talk. Literally. That's what it is. Yeah. So that's pretty much, yeah.
Did that annoy you, the teacher being like that?
No, I never really cared, actually. I think it annoyed more of my mom because she didn't like that. But it didn't annoy me. No. It didn't bother me at all. I couldn't care less. I would be like, you know what? There is truth to it. Yeah. And that was it.
Who were the people looking down on you? Was it family doubting you? Was it teachers? Was it friends?
It was the whole lot.
It was actually, yeah, it was the whole lot.
It was a mix of people, but then I think it was like, that's why I always remind people, I always tell people, it's like, if you knew where we came from, I just want to show you that anything is possible, and you don't have to go through the traditional route. You don't have to sell yourself, or like, you don't need to do what everyone else is doing. You could do something that you want to do, and you can make a living, and you can make something fun out of it.
I completely agree. I literally, was it today or yesterday? No, I think it was today. I saw a guy, he did 10 million off selling onions. That's his business, which surprised.
Oh yeah, that would be a good
crazy, no?
And his CRM is so on my day, so outdated. Literally said he's got paper of a list of contacts, two phones, and that's it. That's it. There's nothing else.
What's he was selling onions.
Yeah, that's his business. His business does 10 million a year just selling onions.
Respect.
Wow,
it's crazy. That's why I
don't even know what to say to that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Business like that just like we always say, like, you can make millions of anything. Somebody makes millions off this, and that's all they do.
Yeah.
And then it's not cool. It's not exciting. But
boring businesses make the most money.
Yeah.
Were the people you grew up around entrepreneurial?
No, we were
close.
Not even close. Like there's only one other person that we know is our pastor. He started being more entrepreneurial in the last,
through our teens.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even say our teens. I think it was the last 5 to 10 years. I can't remember exactly what it is. But then once we started seeing it and opening our entrepreneurial brains, that's when we then started to see what he was saying. Yeah.
Like, it will fly by everyone's head. But for our one, it wouldn't. No, we didn't have anyone who was entrepreneurs. No. We're the first one in our
drove
family.
You guys to be entrepreneurial?
I feel like, because growing up, we realized that we weren't good at academics. So we was like, okay, what can we actually be good at? So back in sixth form, like, one of our friends say, hey, look, I've got a great opportunity for you guys. We'll love you guys to sell crisps, drinks, and sweets. In sixth form, he says, but I said, okay, I'd love to do it, but I don't have the money. He says, no problem. Shout out to Sadar. Always him. But I tell him till today anyways. But yeah, so he was like, I'll give you the money. And that's where our entrepreneurial journey and our muscle like started from it. Then one of our friends called Samir, he was like, what was he saying? Yeah, he was like, I had enough of you guys. You guys are taking up all the market. So he says, watch, I'm going to come in and I'm going to undercut you like bears. And I was like, yeah. We brushed it to the side. I thought he was joking. He really did come. I remember the next day, when he said that, it wasn't that far off. Came in one day and he literally undercut us. And then we had to figure out how to get all our customers back. So we started giving them loyalty cards. And then for every 10 you buy, you get one free thing, food from our bags. And that's how we learned.
Amazing.
Business.
Yeah, and that's when we knew we were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we started like,
It's something there.
maybe I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much how it started.
What about a slightly younger age? So age 11, if I say something Saturday morning ritual, does that ring a bell?
Yes. Oh, yeah. You bring it back. Okay. 11 years old, 7 a.m. So our mum used to... So on Saturdays, that's when my mum decides that everybody's waking up super early. Yeah. Bear this in mind, we're already waking up early during the week, but decides to wake up super early and we're cleaning the house. And we're like doing whatever needs to be done. So yeah, so that's pretty much what... And then once all of that is done, she would then cook some breakfast and then we'll just do whatever needs to be done, do some work if we have to, hoping that we didn't have any work to do. And then, yeah, play. That was it. Literally play, and that was it.
Yeah, like literally growing up, all that was on my mind was how can I play and have fun as much as I could.
But you guys have carried on doing that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know it's... Yeah, I know it's so weird because we thought we would outgrow it, or we thought it would, like, you couldn't be this kind of character in the workplace or like out in the real world or something like that. But then we realized that, I think we can just be that and be ourselves.
How important is it, do you think, for young people going into entrepreneurship just to sort of turn up with a smile on their face and be like you guys? You're energetic, you're happy, you've got smiles on your faces.
I think it makes a massive difference because I'll take you through how every entrepreneur starts. So great, you have this idea, you're excited, ecstatic, you feel like you can take on the world, right? So you hit one obstacle, I can still take on the world, but maybe not as much as I thought it would be. So your delusional's gone a bit down. Then as you go to about maybe, let's say, a month and a half in, and now reality set in, that's when you have to you have to choose to be happy and choose to be like proud of what you do, embrace it, because that's where people struggle. And then what people think is like, oh, I get to this point, I quit. I start another thing, I get to this point, I quit. Whereas if you just see it through, eventually you start learning, and you go up and up and up and up. Obviously, you'll still come back down, but...
Yeah, I think it's important to continue to smile.
Yeah.
That's just who we are, because it's opened a lot of doors and opportunities. Like randomly on the train, somebody's like, I just love your energy. There's an energy about you guys and I just love it. Like, I don't know what it is. And then that's what it is. So it's like, it just opens doors. But I think it's learning to just be yourself. That's who we are. So for us, we don't think about it. It just comes off naturally as who we are. So I think it's for other people is learning what makes you happy and just embracing that. And then then ask yourself, how can I use that in my business to like show that happiness? Because that's what it is. Like even when like last year, especially last year near the end, things just were not going our way. Things were just not working. Clients weren't paying on time, but we still showed up to the smile. Team didn't know. And it was all of those kind of things. So it's like,
Setting example almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go to uni.
Yeah.
What uni did you go to?
Portsmouth.
I went Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Oh, so you went different unis.
Different unis.
How was that?
It's actually normal.
It's pretty much the same.
It's actually so surprising because in our, like, when people are, it's only until people ask we then realize that, some people would think like it's a bit weird or something, or not weird, like interesting that we went to different unis.
You seem so connected now.
Yeah.
That's why I like.
No, because we've always been connected. So we just wanted to see. Well, I wanted to see who I was without James. Yeah. Because if not, he would correct me. You would correct me. Yeah, you would. So yeah, that's why that's why I wanted us to go to separate, because I thought I was who I was because of James and vice versa. But then when I went to uni, first month or two, I already knew, like, it's not because of James, it's just who I am individually myself. And then that was it. So then that's why we went to different unis.
So how did the first student-focused cleaning business come about? Because you're at different unis. So was that together? Who came up with the idea?
That's
so
actually...
slightly before that, so we had another business. So what everyone sees now is like, it's 2.0.
Okay.
First version, we learned a lot. like back then, I didn't care about adding value to people. I didn't care about customer satisfaction. I didn't put our customer first. All I cared was about margins, but in an unhealthy way. Like I didn't like it was like if we can hit this amount of money or this amount of profit, that's all I cared about. And I realized that that's a very flawed way of looking at business, because the reality is business is not like that. So for a lot of people, or for us, it was like we had a clouded judgment of what business into. So then it was like, okay, the next business we're gonna start, it can't be what it was before.
Yeah. So then I remember I was going to bed one day. This was during because I did an entrepreneur course, so we did the same course, just different unis. So my university allows us to spend 1 year doing entrepreneurship, if you would like. And then, so it was I think it was either middle or near the end. I was going to bed one day, and then, so we're big believers of God. So cleaning company came to my head, and I was like, cleaning company? I don't think I heard that right. Cleaning? Yeah, no, can't be cleaning. So I put it to the side. But then I said, you know what? Let me just speak to James. And then James was like, James was excited. It's like, yeah, let's do it. So in that moment, we said, okay, let's start a cleaning company for students, because we were a student. We said, there's no cleaning company for students. And then I remember I told my housemate. My housemate told me, John, that's a bad idea. I was like, maybe. But then his girlfriend, to be fair, his girlfriend said, no, I think it's a good idea. And then, so then that's how the whole idea of like it being students first started.
Yeah, I remember when John said it, I was super excited. I remember John ended it and I was sleeping and I dreamt about the business. Like that was literally my dream that day. And I was like, but not what it is now. It was just like, oh my days, we're gonna own the cleaning business. Like where we go to start. But it was good.
You've had the idea. What was your step one?
Ooh, that's a great question. You're taking us back. What was the first step?
Oh, I think I know. The first step was to find out why do we want to start a cleaning business? Because I realize I speak to a lot of people. They say, I want to start a business. I want to start a business. I want to start a business. They start the business. And then once you start the business, it is the why that keeps you going. And that's what a lot of people forget, because there are more downs, there are ups. It's like in business, you win big and you lose big. I was saying it to one of our friends. I was actually speaking to her the other day, and then we were complaining and saying, we always have this joke between us. It was like, everyone says we should be an entrepreneur, they say, but they don't realize that clients don't pay on time, sleepless nights. But a lot of people don't. And then what keeps you going is truly why you started it. It's not, I just want to start a business because I want to make money. Trust me, you won't make the money, and when it's down, you won't do it. So yeah.
What was your why then?
It changed.
No, but what it was then, it was to create. I think it's still the same. It's still got the same original DNA in it. I think it's like, how can we make what we do interesting and fun? Because that's who we are. So so the reason why people see it as fun and interesting, it wasn't because we were trying to make it fun and interesting for others. We were just trying to make it fun and interesting for ourselves. So we said, if we found it fun for ourselves, we know our energy and who we are. That would come across on the internet very well, and people would like. Well, actually, we didn't know if people would like it, but we hoped people would like it, and then they did.
I think that's why I always tell people, is like, figure out your why, and your why should never be about money.
Oh yeah,
it should never. Your why should never be about you want to hit a certain goal, you want to have a certain amount of revenue, and your why must be meaningful to you. Because if it's meaningful to you, you will keep going until you achieve that why.
Yeah. And I think it's a why is ever more important when you start bringing people in and a team, and then the vision of like, what are you trying to achieve? Because if you say to your team, we're trying to make 30 grand, and we make 30 grand, they'll be like, okay, what's next?
What now?
What, 100? Like, is that the goal? And so then that's what, because in the first business, all we cared was about the monies. It was just revenue. That's all we cared. I don't think you guys understand. We couldn't care about anything else. Once we hit that goal, the profit was good. That was it.
Shifted up.
Yeah.
What did switch when you decided to focus on adding more value? Like, what did actually change in the business?
Because it flopped, and it didn't go as well as what we thought it would. And we thought making a certain amount of money would make us happier. Because I remember I vividly remember, can never forget this. It was a random day of the week. We're
it
going
was
back home.
Tuesday.
Maybe it might have been Tuesday.
Thursday. So Tuesday or Thursday.
One of those days.
One of those days, yeah. We were just looking and we were like, we just looked and said, okay, how much money did we make? And we hit the goal that we target. Like in our head, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
And we felt nothing.
Nothing. Oh,
It was so mad because it was one of those things like, in our mind, we thought the world would change. We thought we would have less problems, less what do you call it? Like less headache.
Like less stress.
But then it's like, okay, we need to maintain this. We need to do more. We need to do this, and then that's when we truly learn. Because I used to say to people, money doesn't make you happy, and I truly believed that. And then when we did achieve that goal, and I was like, yeah, it didn't, and I was correct all along. Like money can enhance your happiness, and I always believe this. Like, if you're a stingy person without money, what makes you think you would not be a stingy person when you
With
have
money.
more money?
it's just gonna be enhanced.
It's just gonna be
worse.
like if you struggle to give away £10. Who says you're now you'll happily give away £200? Who says? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But yeah,
Do you think it's something you have to live through to realize that? Do you have to get to that point? Because
Ooh,
when you don't have
yes.
the money, you're constantly thinking, that's it, I've got to be there. But it's something almost you have to live through to look back on.
Yes, I think it is. But you know what? Nobody actually talks about, or they talk about it, but you don't really understand it or deep it. Is that when I always hear all these successful entrepreneurs, they said, it's not the money, it's not about the money. I was like, yeah, but you don't understand. You have the money. So, but then it was like, it's the journey. Trust me, it's the journey. It's the journey. And I was like, yeah, just keep brushing it aside. And then when we hit that goal, I just thought back of what it took to get to that goal, and I was genuinely appreciative. And I looked at it and thinking, the journey was the fun, because when you get there, it's like, this is how like people always see it as like, imagine there was a girl you liked, right? You really, really liked her, right? And you finally got her. It's like that the thrill, the hype. It's like it's all gone. But obviously you could still like make it like more exciting, etc. But like what you thought it would make you, in reality it didn't. And that was it for us. So we was like, oh, we would be so happy. But then
Grass
I
is always
thought
greener,
about
yeah.
I thought about every bit of failure and thing. I was just so happy because I was like, I am so happy we took those risks to get to where we are today. Or at that point, yeah, in time.
So you said part of your original mission was to make it interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did the content immediately follow that, or did it take you a bit of time to get to that?
It took time. It took 52 videos.
Yeah.
52 videos that we posted.
But content was the goal from like, you're like, we're going to make it interesting through content.
Yes. So how
Funny in fact, right? Content was never a part of the plan when we actually first started it. Content was never, because remember, so John and I were not really on socials like that. So you probably see us post once every 3 years, 4 years, or you might never see us post.
Yeah.
So
How many views did you get? What, last month or something?
don't even know. It's not as high
But
as
it's
it
like
used to be.
hundreds of millions.
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
compare that with one post every 3 years.
Content, James was right.
Yeah,
Content
yeah,
was never really part of the plan. It was until we met someone and then someone said, post a content. I was like, yeah, buddy. Oh, I've heard this before. Content is not going to change my life.
Everyone says it.
So you know what? We then said, what do we have to do? So we then said, we started doing it, and oh my days, people, we've never taken our old videos. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see there was no energy. There was just, I'm James.
That was the first video.
Genuinely.
Like, I remember it was like,
Sounds
I'm
like our initial
James.
podcast.
Yeah, I remember then the person reviewed it and they said,
this is.
They said, this is, you guys need to show more energy,
Energy.
man. Damn.
Like
Even I was bored watching it. Yeah. And they, So it was one of those things. So then it then changed. And then, but what made us start to create even more sort of importance, we said, with all these big companies, we can't compete on prices, resources, connections, whatever they had. But we said, what can we compete on? Our creativity. So we said, why can't we just be the number one most liked cleaning brand?
Yeah,
And that was it.
I remember the first step we actually took for socials. Oh, I remember it. Was we looked at how many people within the cleaning space had over 10,000 followers, right? The average, small amount. Small amount. And then I think the max that we saw was about 500K. Yeah. So I was like, 500K. So you're telling me all I have to do is get 10K and I'll be in the general public? I said, that's not hard. And that was us having like maybe 100 followers. I said, but we could definitely get 10K. Yeah. So the 10, and then that's how that was the first step we took.
Incredible.
From there,
Yeah.
you had that 2-year period where it was a bit tough, not much traction. If I say to you, neglected front garden, what does that mean?
Oh, that was the first ever. That was the first video of cleaning places nobody asked us to clean. And I remember when we did that. So we used to walk past this house every single day, and then it just clicked. Why didn't you clean it? I remember we cleaned it. Then the woman came out and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "We're just cleaning your front garden." She says, "Why?" I said, "Because nobody asked us to do it." And then she was like, "Oh, are you gonna charge me?" I said, "Nah, we're just doing this for free." She was like, "Oh my gosh, really? Thank you." I was like,
Yeah.
And then, so we found another place. I think 2 more places, and it blew up. And I remember literally. I remember that it got posted on a Tuesday. Saturday, we went from less than 500 followers on TikTok to about 8K. Yeah, it was.
But that's not even the
that is
maddest jump,
fast.
That's
though.
not a maddest jump.
Like we were looking at, we were speaking with another massive cleaning company the other day on social media. I think there was one video, train video. That one was crazy. That's what put us.
The Northern Line.
Yeah, the Northern Line. That's what
3.1 million views.
Yeah, but the maddest thing about that one, just on TikTok alone, that got us 64,000 new followers.
One video.
One video.
It was mad because I
thought
always
it was
thought
like-
it was like 20, 30.
Yeah.
Then I looked at it.
64.
Then I was like 64,000.
That's mental.
Yeah, because
Because it only says like 99 plus.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
60,000.
Yeah. So that was so when we did the first outside area, that was the first time we ever saw 99 plus on
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah,
And
that
then
was crazy.
Then Instagram took a
Took a little
while.
bit longer.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
feel looking back on that video, the first one that blew up?
I just smile because you know
we
what?
knew it was a winner.
We knew it was a
day.
new. Yeah, we knew it was gonna do well.
Well, you were taking a risk because it's a bit like other people weren't doing videos like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We took a massive risk. So one of the things we asked ourselves is how do we not get sued? And I think that's what people don't actually look at us when we look at our content. I think they just think we just wake up and say, you know what, James, we're going to that place today and that's what we're going to do. But they don't realize how much logistics, how much planning goes into it before we even touch that place. And that's what it is, like the planning, the everything, like making sure the idea is good. Does this work? Does this work in real life? Does this work in camera? Does this do this? And all of those
Speaking to their
questions.
team, asking what their thoughts are.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot.
Takes a long time.
Interesting, yeah. I didn't think of the legal implications of just cleaning a random place. That didn't even cross my mind.
Like we are on fine lines.
Yeah.
I don't even think people realize how much fine lines we are. And another reason why we don't bash those companies or the people.
Yes.
So if we did, they wouldn't have allowed us to do it for as long as we have. Because they would just be like, why would I work with these guys? Or why would I do anything if these guys are just going to bash what we do?
Like that's why when we first started, there were certain words we'll never use. Disgusting. Like all them words that relate to a negative form, we'll never use it. But people wouldn't actually think about it. But like I remember when we'll type in the voiceover, do I want to say this disgusting? No, I can't. So I have to scrap it. Yeah. Well, it wasn't that. It wasn't. And
so
that's
it's very
how it be.
everything that we do, and that's what people don't realize. Yeah, it's very intentional.
Very considered.
Yeah. And I think because we come off as like bubbly and like just fun people don't think. We get this a lot. People don't think we're actually smart. So until we start opening our mouths and start speaking to people, it's like, oh, that surprised me.
I could, that's what people don't understand. Like the way we've done certain things was there was actually a pivot that we did. So when we started cleaning places nobody asked us to clean, we started it. It was great. It was fun, but it was difficult because finding those places were not easy. So if I don't know the area or if I go from, let's say we were doing it in Portsmouth, I move from one area of Portsmouth to another. If I don't know that other area, it becomes very difficult. So we ask ourselves, is like, how can we maintain it? I almost feel like we're reaching a different like high. It's like, for example, we've cleaned this massive place. Now expect us to someone to clean us. Now someone expects us to do the same standard every single time. So it gets stressful for us. So it was like, okay, I remember we kept doing it, just like kept doing it higher and higher and higher. Then it got to a point where it was the TFL one. I remember John and I sat down and say, how the heck are we gonna top cleaning a train? Like, how are we gonna top that? And then I think for a month we didn't post any content because we didn't know. So we left it. John and I had a real think, spoke to our mentors, and then man was like, and then I think John and I came up was like, instead of doing all these crazy places, what if we mixed it so it's never pressurized on us? And that's when we started to do. We mixed it. We do different ones, high ones, ones super dirty, not so dirty, and that's how it allowed us to do it. Everything that we do, it's very, very tactical. We're very, very analytical and tactical people. A lot of people don't know
A lot
that.
of strategy goes into it.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward to March 2025. You met Mr. Simon Squibb.
Yes.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Oh,
So, okay, so we were just, as people know in the video, we were just walking down. So obviously we had known of Simon Squibb, and then, yeah, we literally just bumped into him, and then he asked, what's your dream? But what most people don't actually know, so it was a balance of, so when that video came out of us, and the train video, that's what took both of us to like that next level. So without one or the other, it wouldn't have worked equally as well, if that makes
I
sense.
remember it was a Sunday. That's when
Yeah.
we posted it. We're on a bus. I remember I looked at, I just said, I told John, this is going to be a banger. This is going to be an absolute banger. I've never seen anyone do it, right?
Yeah.
So we
We were
posted it. We were right. I've
Yeah, it's
never
mad
seen anyone.
because then we didn't leave the house for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So then we went outside for the first time, and then somebody said, "Oh, I know you guys." That was so. Yeah, that's when it was. So yeah, that was when we first got recognized, which was an interesting experience. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, you went on to work quite a bit with Simon, didn't you? You were in his
Yes.
YouTube videos. So
Yeah.
how did he help you guys?
Yeah. So actually, when we met Simon, we didn't actually want any money. The only thing we wanted was validation from an entrepreneur that has done it and has been successful and say, does this idea work? But then it's quite interesting. I've learned something now new, and it's not even just like sometimes some of these entrepreneurs, they equally don't know because they're humans.
Yeah.
So like, if you told anybody else cleaning random places would get you, someone would be like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever flipping heard.
They did tell us that.
Yeah, some people did tell us that.
No, we were told that a lot.
Yeah, we actually got told that a lot. It was like, you're meant to be making money and you're cleaning places for free. This ain't
Doesn't
making
sense.
no sense. Right?
To us, it didn't make sense.
To us, it didn't make any sense, but we just knew that if we just kept going and we just liked it, yeah. So that's recently we have actually learned is that some of these men that we look up to, entrepreneurs and all of those that are successful, they equally don't know. They don't have all the answers. They don't know what they're doing. Well, no. When I say that, I mean of course they know what they're doing, but they don't know which is the right or the wrong
They're
one.
not in your
So
shoes.
You,
Yeah.
You just have to go with what your gut is telling you and what you believe is the right thing to do. And that's what like now I don't do stuff to prove it to other entrepreneurs or these successful entrepreneurs. Hey buddy, whether you believe it or not, hey, I'm gonna get there. Then you could either jump on the bandwagon now or later. Choice is yours.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You've mentioned mentors quite a few times.
Yeah.
How important is it a young person does find a mentor?
Oh, you know what it is? I think people put too much pressure on themselves to have a mentor.
Yeah.
And then they either put it through, I need to buy a mentor, I need to buy a course. You know what it is, right? You know how we've got, truly, I've learned this about business and life in general. I was speaking to one of my friends. If you want someone who's gone ahead of you for it to be well, he says, treat them like as if they were your friend. And that's what I was telling her. I said, that's what made a massive difference. Don't let them be like, oh, that's a mentor. They've made multi-million. Because I'm taking it from their perspective point of view. It's like, if they're known, they're public, and people say that all to that, then you're no different than to them. Like than the other people who say it. So they're thinking, "Oh, I can't be my true self." You know, it's like when we're speaking to like. That's why I love our team when it's not when the cameras are not rolling and we're there with the with our cleaning operatives. John and I could just be ourselves. I don't have to be the Maka Twins. I could just be James and John. They know that okay. And that's what thing. So mentorship is not important. You put a lot of pressure. How you get a mentor is all down to who you are as an individual. But I wouldn't rely on a mentor. You don't need a mentor to be successful.
Yeah.
You need to believe in yourself, and the mentors then believe in you. They don't believe in that business or the idea. And the only time that they do is when they believe in you. That's it. So people misconstrued what a mentor is. Yeah. A mentor is a person who believes in you, then they believe in your business.
But it's more important to believe in yourself.
Yes. That's the first step.
Because like all the mentors that we have, we've never paid them any money.
No.
And it's just because they like who we are. That's it. There's no, because I asked them, so why you, like anyone that helps us, I always ask the question, why are you helping? Especially when they're helping, they don't want anything. It's like, why are you helping? It's like, look, I just like who you guys are. And I feel like you guys are going to succeed. So, you know what? I will help. Yeah. And that's it. And they said, I will never forget, one of them said, another reason why I do this is because I want to be able to give back. So he said, when you guys have that opportunity, you give back to other people as well. So pass that on. So it's like, and that's what most people, and see, this is what happens. Most people find transactional mentors. The best mentors are the ones that you don't even have to speak to them. Like some of the mentors, we don't speak to them. But I know if I call them, hey, this has happened. Yeah. Like I remember,
you probably wouldn't even call them a mentor.
No, I wouldn't call them. They're my friend. Yeah, they're my friend. Yeah. So literally, give you an example. One of the clients wasn't paying us on time. I said, hi. I was gonna say his name, but I'm probably better not. I was like, hi. This is happening. He was like, I was like, oh, do you know what to do? He was like, yeah, don't worry. I'll put you in touch with this guy. He's a lawyer. He patents me all the time. So he was like, yeah. So then that was it. And that was it.
And one thing I learned about these kind of people is that if they see that you have that drive, the hunger, and you're being true to yourself, because they meet a lot of fake people. Yeah. The ones that approach them, the ones that they meet within their own little space. So if you're just raw and authentic to it, one thing I've learned about all these people, when they like you, or they are always one of the nicest people. They never bash down your idea. They'll never bash down your business. They'll never do any of that. They will ask yourself, what can I do to help you? But you have to be true and authentic to yourself.
But to add one more, and I think this is where most people get it wrong, is you ask yourself some sort of way, how can I be valuable to this person? You may not have the answer now. You may not have the answer, but it's having that saying, like, what can we be of value to this person? What is it? What's the skill asset that I have that potentially they want to know? And a good one is just to always ask. And we always say, we want to help you get one step closer to your goal, as well as you helping us get one step closer to ours. So it's like figuring out what that is. But don't put a lot of pressure on that as well, because we used to put a lot of pressure and we didn't know the answer. And James one day was like, James, you don't need to worry. They want to help us. So when it's the right time, and it's like give an example. If they say, oh, I want to get into F1 and you've got to connect in F1, just introduce them. That's it. Yeah. You're not making any promises to them, but that's pretty much what it, and they will do the rest. And that is what entrepreneurship is about. Entrepreneurship is just people.
Yeah. I think you're right that people do overthink mentorship, because correct me if I'm wrong, but you asked that like for some social media advice, didn't you, to you guys?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and like even that
the first time I met you, actually, I was like, "What are we doing? What do you think we can do better?"
That is mentorship, even though
that's true.
There we go.
You can send a message on LinkedIn, ask someone one question. You can get advice everywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a big one because you can reach out to almost anyone, and you just ask them, and I'd say 8 times out of 10 they generally reply, which is kind of crazy. That's the only platform I think that you can just message people, and they actually see it. I have all of them.
But I think it's the reason why they reply is like, even when some people like reach out to us like, hey, can we do something? You know, for me, the first thing I always check is how committed are you to what you said? And then I look at it. So I look at whether where you hit us up, whether that's Insta, LinkedIn, I say, oh, I remember some people say, hey, I like to create some content. Okay, let me see your content that you've created. That's the first, because my thing is that if you're not committed to this for your own self, then
We
it
can say a
doesn't
lot
make
and do nothing,
sense.
can't you? So
Would you check for us then?
No, what did I check? No, for me, no, it's different for everyone because it depending on where you reach out. Like if it's in person, it's straight vibes.
But I have to. So that's
Yeah.
that's how James and I. So we're very a vibes kind of people.
Yeah.
So the reason why we said yes is because we liked your vibe. If we didn't like your vibe, what we would have done, we would have just said, "Oh yeah, reach out to the team, and then we'll go from there." So yes, but because of all of that, so yeah, in person, that's what it is. But even online as well, we have a look at your page, which is like, do I like this guy? Is there something I like? Is it like one of the guys we were trying to work with him? He liked anime. I was like, oh, I like this guy already.
There we go.
There was nothing else. But yeah, we're very easy people to please, but also not easy people to please, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't know, especially when we're having meetings with either potential clients or certain opportunities. Like CJ, our commercial manager, he always says the one thing about you two is that you guys have the greatest poker face, because someone could be telling you an opportunity
And you could be
right,
smiling, and they
smiling,
don't know.
that you're not. You might be interested. You might
Yeah,
not
no,
be. We don't
yeah.
give it away
Yeah.
until thing.
But it's what we do naturally, so we don't even think of it like that. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
when we first met you, you mentioned something interesting. So invoice financing.
Yes.
I thought it'd be useful to go over this for a young entrepreneur listening. Can you sort of explain that, how that helps cash flow?
Oh, big time. So let's say it's us, right? You're the second business. You're the person that's gonna provide the funding. So we've done service for you, right? I need 10 grand, right? I've done an invoice. I send it to you. You've approved it. Perfect. I now have the invoice. I send it to you as proof. So once you have it, you be like, okay, cool. This is agreed. This fits everything. You will now give us 9 grand, and you hold that 1 grand remaining, right? So when you have paid you, right? I get the remaining 10% minus their fees.
Yeah, which
so
is
they take a 3.85%.
So the real difference between invoice financing and discounting, financing means they chase up.
So
the
you would
client.
chase up him.
Rather than you chasing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if invoice discounting is when we chase
up
you
you
up,
like normal.
but you don't even know
Yeah.
you exist.
So like at the bottom of your invoice, it would say the company that you do it. In essence, just think about it is that, and when you do that, businesses tend to take you more seriously because you will do everything in your power to get that bread.
The money.
So then what they can do is run a credit. So you'd be like, is this business, before I've even sent an invoice or even done the work, it's like, can this business afford what I'm about to send them? And you would tell us yes. Once we do, you know that they have a good credit and everything. It saves cash flow and allows you to pay on time, pay your staff on time, pay your suppliers, your day-to-day.
So it's essential, basically. Like
Yeah.
you gotta do it if you're an entrepreneur.
yeah. It's what surprised us the most was I didn't even know it was a thing.
No, I've never heard of it. Hence why I asked. Yeah.
Then the second thing is we knew it was something. It must be something like normal because there was a company that we know that we're working with. They're a massive cleaning company. They do millions. Yeah, they've got like 700 staff, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then, so we were just talking. It was like clients haven't paid the time. It was like, oh, really? He was like, oh. He was like,
Don't worry about that.
He was like, don't worry. Have you heard of invoice financing? Invoice financing. I said, nah, not really. Then he was like, oh yeah, we do that. He said, we do that for our company. And then that's what caught me off. I was like, interesting. Because then it was like, so you guys always, he's like, yeah, this is great for cash flow.
Oh yeah, I forgot a very important thing. So once I have sent the invoice to you, right, I get that money in 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
very quick.
Very quick.
So you get it very, very quick. Everyone has a bit different, so depending on what you do, but for our one, we get it in 24 hours, right? And we don't have to, and then you pay them in like I think it's net 60 days. You have to pay them in 60 days. You pay pay them back in 60 days. So realistically, instead of working on 30, 60 or 90 days, you're working on
24 hours.
24 hours an hour, example, depending on everybody else, other business is a bit different. Yeah. So yeah, whatever those times, it's a lot quicker. That's for sure.
No, really, really interesting. Another thing to sort of help young entrepreneurs, would you recommend filming the journey?
Ooh, I would say yes, but we don't do it ourselves. So I don't know how credible that advice is. But I would no,
or
but
even making a content series around your business, like something like that.
Yeah, to be fair, when I did think about it, I realized, but John, you have created a journey because now you can watch back. Because we watch back at all the videos and say, what were we thinking? Why did we think?
Who approved this?
Who approved this idea? Yeah, who thought this was a great idea? Yeah, very, like, especially like early on. So yeah, I would say record it. We'd definitely record it because I think it's like you remember yourself and you just remember how it went. But what we do, instead of recording it for ourselves, we just take little notes on our. Well, James does. I don't do it. We take little notes of every month. What was something significant that happened? So then, when
something good or bad,
or something good or bad, it doesn't matter. And then we look back at the end of the year, and then we said, "Oh wow, I remember that. Oh, it's not even that bad now."
Yeah, I think in terms of what John was saying is that I feel people get content the wrong way. If you want to get millions and millions of views, it's very simple. Do the opposite. It sounds crazy, but do the opposite. If I want to sell this bowl, right, and I know this bowl will change people's lives, I will never ever say a one word about this bowl. You know what I'll do? I'll show it. So, for example, it's a drink, right? So I have a drinks brand. I was actually saying this to someone yesterday. It was like, I have a drinks brand. I'm going to create content about everything that will make me tired that I need to re-energize through a drink. And I wouldn't say anything to do with it. All I'll do is I'll just show it like this. But if you, no, think about it. Look at Pepsi. They never said, oh my God, she's the best ever drink. No. They show you, oh, you're doing some sort of activity or doing something, or they show you the
Red
outcome.
Bull's my
Red Bull's a great example of that.
They are the greatest
marketers.
Yeah,
and that's how we've been able to do it. So like, we asked ourselves, was like, when we first started and we just wanted to show people how good we are at cleaning, but we don't want to think. We got so many inquiries every month. And the only word that we said was, if you want a clean environment, you know where to find us. We never said once about we're the best cleaning service. You can do this. This is what our company provides. And by that, I'm telling you, it changes everything. Just do the... If you see someone talk about I've got the best products, the reason why you don't care about it, you have no emotional connection to that.
Yeah.
Everything that you love, the faithful people you love to watch on YouTube, the favorite brands that you buy, if you actually think down to the basic of it, it's because you have an emotional connection to whatever that is.
Yeah. Like I even saw noodle, like instant noodles. Yeah, I saw a company, all they did was they said, would you like to have a random chat with me while we eat some cup of noodles? And that was it. And they were promoting a brand. That's
brilliant.
Simple.
There you go. Yeah.
Literally brilliant.
Simple. Then there was another one. Speaking to the other day, she was a real estate. So she's in America. I think somebody should do it in the UK. I don't know why somebody isn't. It's quite simple. So what she used to do, she used to play hide and seek in the house. And then she said, so imagine there's a wardrobe. She was like, you thought I was hiding in the wardrobe. No. I was actually hiding in this corner. So that way, it forces the camera to go all the way around the room to then find her.
And now you're intrigued.
Now you're looking at specific
Harrison
places.
wishes he'd done that. Look at that face.
That's actually the best idea.
Bro.
Why is no one doing that in the UK?
I don't know.
That's crazy. That is so smart.
Yeah, in America, this is what advice is, great advice. In America, find the top person who's doing it in your niche, bring over to the UK. And then add your own little twist and thing to it. I remember the best video, our best viewed video, right, was we did a brand deal with Carhartt, but people didn't realize what was brand deal. And someone then said, this is the best marketing Carhartt has ever done. And I said, and literally all we did was clean up paper, but we never talked about the product, just showed it. And people said, oh my God, it's just an absolute banger. Yeah. And that was it. It got the highest, I think it got 15, 20 million views in total, I think, something like that.
Just to wrap up, we want to do a bit of a quick fire sort of question round.
Yeah,
So what is the coolest thing you've ever cleaned?
British Airways plane.
But easy, hands down.
Don't even need to think about that.
Instant,
The
yeah.
last time,
Don't even need to think about
when we went to Glasgow with Sides last week, right? We were on a plane, and I said, "Isn't it crazy? We've cleaned an airplane before. Like, it's
Yeah, the
like
outside
even
as
the
well.
outside. Like, if I tell people, if I don't show you videos, you don't think it really happened.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it really did. So
What's one thing you'd love to clean
There
that you
is-
haven't yet?
There is an idea, and it
You
has
know
to
what-
do,
I know what John's gonna
and it
say.
has to do with Red Bull. So it's jump out of plane, jump onto the Houses of Parliament, and clean the Big Ben.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
That is awesome.
That's it.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
that's yeah.
No, I love that. That's got to happen.
That has to happen.
has to happen.
That has to happen.
So yeah, hey Red Bull,
Red Bull,
So
if you're listening.
if
yeah.
you're listening, hey, you know where to find us. Actually, no, maybe you don't. The Maka Twins. That's where you can find us. Yeah, that's where you can find us. Yeah, we'll be more than happy to have a conversation, and it's gonna be great. Oh my days, yeah.
What is the single best piece of business advice you've ever received?
Ooh.
Challenge you here.
I know. Keep going. Is actually, and it used to annoy me when I used to hit it. I was like, oh, and it used to annoy me when we used to get the most generic answers. But the truth is, the truth isn't just generic answers. Because he said, and we always say it, the difference between me and somebody else, they just kept going. When they thought, oh, this is the end, this is it, they just found another way and they just kept going. That's the difference between us and a successful entrepreneur. It's not like they're smart. It's not like none of those things. They were pretty much at the same point you were. And then, yeah, they just figured it out and just kept going.
I think mine would be provide value. Once
That's
you
a good
provide value, value comes back. And don't do it because you're providing value, so value can come back. For example, one thing I like to do is like when I can, I always like to give people advice. Whether you listen to it on it, that's a different conversation. That's whether you decide to take it, but provide value when you can, and I can guarantee that it will never ever come back void.
Yeah.
Or it will never be void. Yes.
And finally, what would you say to your 20-year-old selves?
20. What was I doing at 20? I was at uni. Oh. What did I say? I know what I'll say.
Do it. I know it will be do it while you're scared, and do it even if you don't know what the unknown is. And if you, and I always say this, if you have a year to risk it and you're like this is what I say. If you're coming out of uni and you're trying to find a job and you know on average it takes about a year. So I said, well, risk something, do something for a year while you still look for the job. Nothing changes, right? Yeah. But if it works out, then you don't have to go look for a job, right? And then, yeah, so I think it's just risk it while you can, and just, because at the end of the day, in our 20s, that's the most risks that we can take and bounce back. In our 30s, I feel like we can, but there's a bit more responsibilities, yeah. But I think while we can now, and we just knew that it had to be now. We have no kids, no mortgage, no car, none of those things that are like tying us down that allows us to be free. So yeah.
Mine would be play the game. Love the game, and the game will love you back.
Yeah.
And do it for just when you're playing it, just do it because you want to do it. And you put your whole heart into it and give it everything. Don't do it half committed. I feel I meet a lot of people half committed. Oh, I tried this. I was there once. We tried so many different things, and because we didn't commit to something, we committed to nothing. And that's it.
Awesome. You guys are amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing you skydiving through the sky onto the Big Ben.
It's got to happen.
Yeah, it's got to happen.
But thank you so much for joining us. It's been
No
incredible.
worries at all.